welcome to the Old Man Orange podcast. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes, along with Ryan Dunigan, and now let's jump back in, see where we left off in our countdown of 2017's our top 15 favorite flicks. I don't really remember where we left off at, but I think it'll be easy to figure it out. Let's jump back in. I'll go with mine. So what are we on, number 7 now?
Yeah.
My number 7 was Alien Covenant, Prometheus 2.
Yeah, I liked that one. That one didn't make my list, but I liked it.
I fucking loved it. I saw it twice in theaters. That's how much I liked it.
My thing is they just did some dumb shit in that movie that wasn't enough to, like, kill the movie for me, but just some dumb shit, because where Prometheus, there are some things they did that people complained about, like, yeah, it ultimately had no effect in the movie, and they take off their helmets so they can fucking, you know, who's who, so it's not a big deal. Where this movie, they take off their helmets, and that actually kills them. So it's like, they took all the things people complained about in Prometheus 2 and had them die for it. So, or, like, the part where, like, the chick's already getting slashed up by a fucking alien. Oh, get in there, I'll help you. Oh, no.
Oh, shit. It locks the door on. It's got some dumb stuff in it, but it's still, like, it's almost like it comes back around as, like, a joke. That's what I like about this movie, is they kept that same, like, weird humor that Prometheus 1 had, because that's the thing about Prometheus 1. Like, there's a lot of stuff in there that, like, in a regular movie, you'd be like, oh, that's fucking stupid. Why they put that in there? But almost, like, it works to make the movie even better. Mm-hmm. Like, as I said, like, one of my favorite parts about Prometheus 1 is they fucking land that planet. The guy's like, oh, I'm so excited. We're gonna fight fucking aliens and shit's gonna be so amazing. We've been waiting, like, our entire lives for this. They go to one cave, comes back, he's like, fuck this place. Fucking stupid. Like, sit at the bar, like, well, there's, you know, we've only been to one cave and only one... Fuck it, let's go back. Stupid. This planet sucks. I hate this dream. It's dumb. I want to be home. You know what I mean? I want my Xbox.
I was glad to see a guy get caught on fire.
But I just loved it, like, the fact that, like, it does that. It's almost like, as I said, like, that would bring down, like, almost any other movie. But in Prometheus, it makes it better. And even in, like this one, too, it's like, there's almost some, like, dumb stuff that happens. But here's the thing. The hero of Alien Covenant, Prometheus 2, is not anybody. It's David. That's who you're fucking here to watch. And I don't mean, like, he's a hero, but I mean, he's, to me, I guess that's the star of the fucking movie. We're here to see what the fuck David's gonna do.
We're watching, it's the villain's story.
Exactly. And that's what I like, because David's such a cool and intriguing character. And it's also like, can one David love another David?
Well, your thing is you just want to see Michael Fassbender make out with Michael Fassbender.
I felt that's what they were leading me into. But this Alien movie, like, I kid you not, this is one of my favorite ones, too. I mean, it's behind Prometheus, but still, it's like, shit, was it fucking good. And like, and some people say, they're like, but it does the thing where, like, it tries to walk the line between an Alien movie and a Prometheus movie. But I'm like, that's one of the few times that fucking works totally fine. Like, you know what I mean? Because this movie was like the bridging movie. Prometheus was the prequel. This is the bridging movie into, like, Alien and so on. Mm-hmm. So you could have cool fucking alien battles and cool aliens appearing in it, and you got proto-aliens and everything like that. But then you still carry on with David and his story. My only kind of one complaint, I just think that the girl from the first one should have carried over.
I think she should have, because the whole thing about the first one, about Prometheus, is Elizabeth Shaw. Mm-hmm. Rooney Mara, is that her name?
No.
She has another weird...
Yeah, because she's got a...
she has a name similar like that, yeah.
She's got a Swedish name or whatever.
Yeah, well, she... the thing with that character is it ends on this note, because she was a religious person going into space, and it ends on that note, like, I don't know what the world holds for us, but hopefully when she doesn't know she's with this guy that basically killed her boyfriend and everybody else aboard, just to see what would happen. He is kind of like... David is kind of like just Jeffrey Dahmer. I just killed this animal and opened it up. Why? I was just curious.
Well, yeah, he's just this, like, a robot with, like, the ability to, like, try science.
Yeah, he's really creative. By how? Destroying lives.
But he also invented instruments, too.
Yeah. Out of human skulls.
Yeah.
And alien skulls. Like, show him, like, playing, like, a xylophone.
He's got, like, this fucking drum solo going on, like he's
Neil
in Rush.
Style, like, of different skulls of creatures.
One of those just a scene, like, it held on it for, like, 5 minutes. Nothing else. It was like, but it was still treated like very serious.
There's just a Rush poster behind him. His two favorite things: Lawrence of Arabia and Rush.
Exactly.
No, but because I remember in Prometheus it ends like, how can you have faith after all that's happened? Like, I don't know, I just do, and it just ends on this note like, we're going on an adventure with the two of them, and I'm expecting at some point next one she's gonna find out and they're gonna fight, but you know, I guess they're together in this now, and then this one like. You see her, like, you know, like, I don't know, what's the word, like, she's preserved, but she's also, like, dissected, and you see she was turned into some kind of weird creature, and just, like, Yeah, a lot of good that fucking faith did ya.
Exactly. Like, that's the one thing. It's like, and I don't know if it's one of those ones, like, if she just didn't want to do the movie or something like that, like, or what. Because it doesn't, I will say, it doesn't really feel, like, natural. It feels more like something behind the scenes kind of happened, and that's why.
I mean, this is going to be kind of retconning it, and people might call bullshit on this. If they came out and did some kind of thing where, oh, that was actually a clone of her, or they even have a clone of hers that comes in this somehow.
Like, she's preserved in a tube below or whatever. Something
yeah, if they do some shit like that, that'd be cool. But, I mean, because I like that character and I like that actress. But it's one of those things, it always feels like a gut punch when you have, like, a main character from the last one who died off screen. Don't fucking worry about it. But
and it's a character you really like, too.
But it's a fucking grotesque death. Because you see her, like, she was dissected. You can see she was turned into something else.
Yeah, he fed her something so that he could experiment and grow an alien.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, like, I think it's one of the ones the Michael Fassbender and fucking David's character, I think, are so cool. And I love how it's got the fucking dark ending. How they get up there and they think that, like, their Michael Fassbender is the good one. And then they realize it's like, oh, fuck, it's not. And he's closed the fucking, capsules on us. And shit, we're locked away in hyperspace or in hypersleep. And now we have no idea what the fuck is going to go on because now he's just got, like, fucking people to experiment on left and right.
Mm-hmm. I feel bad because the married couple that dies in the shower, they're, like, one of the only people who didn't do anything fucking stupid. Yeah, they're at the point where they think they're away from the alien.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things like, oh, you poor sons of bitches.
Yeah, they get those. It's kind of weird because this movie, it's like, it's got those kind of, like, moments of almost, like, an old school horror movie, like an old school sci-fi horror movie in it, and then it still keeps, like, the Prometheus very, like, operatic to, like, space movie in it, and it's just got this mix of stuff. Like, it can be, like, very, like, sophisticated 2001 like sci-fi movie, but then it can almost go to being, like, just, your classic sci-fi horror flick, and putting all these things together, and I fucking love the hell out of it. I mean, it's not one of the movies, it's not a perfect movie, just like Prometheus, but somehow, some way, that still works in its favor.
You enjoy the fuck out of it.
Yeah, you just enjoy the fuck out of it. Because that's how Prometheus is. I think Prometheus is one of the fucking best movies of, like, the last handful of years. But it's weird. It's not a perfect movie. I mean, it literally is a movie that has flaws, but those flaws almost make it better. If you probably didn't have those flaws, the movie actually might not be nearly as good. It's weird. Isn't that so fucking strange?
It is. Like, sometimes, and it's not like in a shitty, it's so bad, it's good. But it's just, I remember, I only seen Prometheus, like, twice. But there's that part where they're like, how the fuck did we get here? And you see, like, the black dude, like, I don't know. You guys have to figure that out. Like, they're freaked out. Like, there's another biosource in the cave somewhere. And just, even though it's kind of flawed, he's just like, well, that's some shit, man. I don't know. He's so like unfazed, so bored. Just the fact of that, just like makes that kind of funny.
And then I also like that Danny McBride actually survives all the way through the movie. Because I thought the whole time, like, oh, he's going to be fucking killed off.
Yeah,
like,
the funny guy's going to die.
Yeah, and it's like, no, he makes it all the way. I'm like, that's fucking amazing. And also, too, I'm just glad that Danny McBride's, like, in, like, a serious movie. Because even though he's still sort of the funny guy, he's still serious, though.
It's not, well, if they even did as much as, like, hey, I'm Kenny Powers up here in space, if they did that, I'd like that, too.
I would, but I feel like that's what you expect, and I think that's the thing. Is like I love seeing like
do a serious
comedy
role.
actors do serious roles. To me, that's cool. Especially if they're in action movies and shit like that. I'm like badass. So like, yeah, everything about that movie I fucking loved. Even though like characters make some fucking dumb mistakes in that movie, but for some reason it's not that big of a deal. I don't know what it is. Maybe if fucking like Kenny Powers made bad mistakes, it would make me kind of
like just fucks it up. Well, I would actually, if they did, like if this was actually, I know we're just ranting here, but if it was like Eastbound and Bound meets Alien, and just Kenny Powers just fucks it up for everybody and gets out alive because that's what he would do, I would fucking watch the fuck out of it.
He would ride an alien out of there.
He says like, I'm gonna see if I can fuck this thing. Why not?
Yeah.
Put that extra mouth to use.
But no, overall though, I fucking love the Alien Covenant.
I liked it. Didn't make my list, unfortunately. It's probably some more of my top 20.
That's because it didn't have a girl crying in it. Too much
don't give me that shit. Don't give me that shit.
Shit. Your movie's got to have people that don't have guns and shooting shit.
Alright, I got Blade Runner, that had some killing. I had Star Wars, that had killing. Babysitter had a lot of killing. Just League, Which we come to my next one. This isn't probably helping my cause here, but next one, Coco.
Coco. No, Coco was great. Now, like every year, I never put a Pixar movie on my list. I don't know why.
It's just by principle.
It's like a natural thing.
You're just like, you know what? This really probably deserves a number, like at least number 9 spot, but it's Pixar, so fuck them. They don't need my support.
Fuck it, I love the hell out of Pixar. This is the weird thing too. I love the hell out of Coco, but it's just like I didn't even cross my mind to put it on my list. It was like, yeah, good movie, but
Dunigan's right.
The only one that I thought
Dunigan has feelings, so put it on his.
Well, most I'm not used to you having them either, because it always seems like that's like what Marley has is like the fucking Pixar movies. But it's like most ones like the only one that like was
Happy
like
birthday, Marley.
This is not Pixar, but Moana. I was like, that was a movie like after I watched a couple more times, I'm like, shit, that movie should have been on the list. That actually was fucking.
That
good.
was on my list, I think.
But it was, well, I think we only did a top 10, so that's also another reason. But no, Coco was a pretty fucking good movie.
It was one of those movies that started off and watching it, I'm like, this is good. This is a good movie. I'm enjoying it. And then it went a direction like, okay, it's kind of going the way where most of these family movies usually go, where it's just like, you gotta help me get here, random stranger.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, and they're gonna be Bond.
Don't take me in the back alley and touch me.
Yeah. Like, I'll show you my own bone,
Shit, a boy
amigo.
in the fucking afterlife, get over here.
Show you my own bone, amigo. Oh no.
It was like,
this one did.
and then he realizes like, oh, I fucking raped my own child.
Yeah.
It's like
Spoilers.
a Pixar movie you didn't expect.
Well, this movie still goes some darker directions you don't expect it to. And watching it, I'm like, oh, this one a whole other. Once you get to like the third act, it totally like flips on you. Like, oh shit. So the guy we've been idolizing the whole time turns out not even his grandfather.
Not even
or
related.
great grandfather, whatever.
Yeah, great grandfather.
It's actually.
It's Mexican family, so it actually goes really far back. So
Yeah.
in white people
Great-great.
terms, you don't really go farther than great. Like the idea of a great-great-grandfather doesn't exist.
Yeah. Who's that? Oh, a dead person. No. No, this
Somebody
one.
who didn't give me any birthday presents.
I like what you said. It's one of those things where it's just like, oh, if this was like white people, like afterlife, they'd be like dead after like great grandfather.
Shit, like grandparents fucking wouldn't be like they'd be forgotten like instantly. Like my grandchildren didn't put up. Oh no,
It's so
picture.
cute.
Yeah.
Turning that orange mist go away.
Yeah, it would be that place would be revolving. Like the idea there would
Revolving door.
be like fucking no, there would be no such thing as great grandparents there. Fuck that. That doesn't happen in like white culture.
So this movie, but no, the
Or
thing
if it's
is,
Australian culture, everybody's fucking forgotten because you don't say their name once they fucking die.
you don't?
No, well, not in the Aborigines.
Oh, I didn't know that. So
So
that's
shit. Their place is like instantaneously forgotten.
I wonder how real estate is in Australian hell. Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, Coco. The thing is, it not only does it flip the bitch on you.
Not only does Coco, the old lady, just like fuck you and fuck you. Shit, she's an ornery old bitch, isn't she?
Post credits. No, it's like the only time this movie like.
Give me a taco, you fuckheads.
I do what I want. I did my part for society. Now I'm in a
Now
fucking
clean my
wheelchair.
shit up for this wheelchair. Just like, God, I hope she fucking dies.
We are not remembering this bitch.
Yeah, she's not that sweet fucking great-great-grandma that anybody else has.
Well, this movie, the whole thing is, once you realize that, like, spoilers ahead, folks, once you realize that, oh, not only is it not his great-great-grandfather, he's actually also a murderer, and the guy who's been following the whole time is actually his great-great-grandfather, and this whole tragedy unfolds, you're like, oh, shit. And I don't feel proud saying this, but this is the first time I actually kind of got a tear in a movie. Because at the very end, when like he realizes somebody has to remember his grandfather, or his great-great-grandfather, in order for him to come back. And he goes to his grandmother, who's basically a senile old lady who just sits in a chair. They just roll her in a corner and kind of leave her there.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting. The title character of the movie is this little old lady who's barely in the movie. And goes up to her, sings the song, because he's not allowed to play music in their family. Because, like, oh, he left.
Music's the devil.
Music's the devil. And it's one of those things where you realize that like it was just kind of a misunderstanding. The whole aspect.
Oh, it's like when they're fucking in the car. It's just fucking silence.
Just talk radio, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
maybe.
As soon as like the transitional music comes in, okay, that's it. Turn it off. No, but because they just hate music in that family because the great-great-grandfather left, like, fuck him and fuck music. And then they
We carry this throughout life.
They see a mariachi. They left out the part where they just like hunt down mariachis at night with like baseball bats with nails
shoes.
sticking out of them.
Because that's what they make is shoes.
They just like shoot like a harpoon gun in the side of their like fucking ankle, drag them away. Like you look great. You be nice leather, amigo. Like no.
It's like with the
Leather for their
the
shoes.
is all like dead mariachis.
Yeah. The like bottom of the soles of it, not the soles. The hard part is actually from the guitars.
It's just the wood.
The lining, yeah. So once he actually goes there and sings that song, she actually literally has a flashback to a child, this little old lady back to when she was a little girl, and you see tears well up in her eyes, and she's like Papa, Papa, and like she could actually comprehend things. Like that moment actually made me tear up.
Oh no, that part was intense.
And I was just like, oh fuck, because there are times that I've seen a lot of movies that made me come close to actually having a tear come down my face. They made me come close. Logan was even one of them. Mm-hmm. But this movie actually made me get a tear. I was like, fuck! Mm-hmm. I'm a bitch! I'm crying in a cartoon.
Shit. I'm not around crying.
Yeah. Yeah, even though you got a problem with movies with girls crying, I guess.
I don't have a problem with those movies either. I just noticed your list was filled, but no. But it's like you got the one or two token ones. It's like, oh, okay, I did that. But no, Coco was actually really fucking good. Even though I would have gave that movie so much fucking credit if it turns out the guy Ernesto, the guy the whole time he's like, oh, that is my grandfather. He's so awesome. Whatever, is actually. Like, if they would have been like, oh, yeah, this guy actually is. And he comes in the afterlife. He's like, hey, grandson, look, I got a grandson. This is fucking awesome. I didn't even know this. My family's a bunch of shitheads that don't tell me anything. And he's like, oh, yeah. He's like, here, I got to tell you this. Oh, they fucking hate music now? Well, here's the thing. That's what my parents told me. They said music was the fucking devil. Same fucking story. But guess what? I walked out on them, walked down the wife and kids, never looked back. And look it, in the afterlife, I got a tower to my name. Every fucking year, we put on a huge fucking concert starring me. Shit, man. Fuck the family. Take the music. Be who you want to be. Fuck them all. Like, don't let them run your life. Be yourself, man. And if they went with that and said, I would have given that movie so much more credit. Be like, fuck. Because I knew it was going to do the thing where it's like, family's important. They were going to go with
what's the middle line?
It does a nice balance. Like, at the end of the day, it has the ending you can't complain about. But, like, that would have been, like, the ultimate white ending. Would have been that. Like, yeah. Shit, your parents don't understand who you are? Fuck them. You don't need them.
Credits.
Yeah. Here. I'll give you some emancipation papers. We'll get the fucking lawyers out and everything. Fuck these guys. You know what I mean? You live in fucking America. You can get new parents. You know what I mean? Like, that would have been the white version of it.
You can buy new parents.
Shit. Here, wait a couple 20 years, you could have fucking robot parents. It's going to be great. but no, it's like the story that they do go. It's like almost one of those ones like once they finally figure out who his fucking grandparent was, and that everybody's been fucking lying to him. And if Coco didn't fucking notice it, shit, who knows how long that lineage could have went on.
Well, there's also things in that movie where there's very subtle things. Both Disney and Pixar are great about this. Subtle things they say, and that comes back in a big bad way. Mm-hmm. For instance, there's the part where when Hector, who is the comical relief character who you don't think much of when he comes in.
Yeah.
When he first comes in and he says he has a granddaughter, you don't think nothing of it. Then he says, tell him how you died. Oh, no. Tell him how you died. Like, he died. He choked. Like, I didn't choke. He choked on water. Can you believe that? Or choked on a drink or whatever. And then you find out, like, oh, no, he was actually poisoned.
Like, the tequila was poisoned.
Yeah, and that the daughter, oh, that's actually Coco. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things where they have there's other moments like that in the movie, but these things that just kind of come full circle, like, oh shit, that's actually good exposition right there.
Well, there's also this is the other like really fucking kind of like sad part too, is when fucking Hector takes the boy to like his fucking like slum huts like on the outside of town or whatever the fuck it is.
There's the old man that
and there's a guy's like here's my fucking roommate down here, and everything like that. And the guy's just like laying in a fucking hammock with all his shit just on top of him, like just everything he has. This is like all I got fucking left. Nobody put my picture up or whatever. And he's like, hey, because fucking Hector says he doesn't play music anymore. He's like, Hector, could you play that song one more time, just one more fucking time, And he plays it, and he's like, as he's playing, he's like, that's nice. And he goes and like lays down and fucking just disappears fucking Yoda style. And it's like so fucking sad. It's just like shit. And it's like all he had was his fucking shit. You know what I mean? If that was me, it'd be like a fucking Game Boy and like a computer on top of me.
A huge stack of comics.
Yeah, huge stack of comics and Pokemon cards across my face. That's when I saw it, I was like, oh fuck.
Laura, stop putting up my picture.
Yeah, people stop putting up my picture. Not even that fucking long. Disappearing. White people disappearing right away.
White people go after 2 months.
Yeah, fucking white people don't last.
You forget about them quickly.
Shit, you're practically you're there and gone instantaneous. That's why you don't see any white people in that movie. Is they're fucking just gone so fast. But no, Coco was actually really good. And it's one of the movies like I think about. I'm like, it technically is probably better than a lot of the movies I put on my list. But I don't know.
It was one of those movies like. Everyone's saying, it's good. I'm like, I'll check it out. Then I finally went to go see it. Oh my god.
I saw it day one, fucking first showing. Mm-hmm. It's not on my fucking list. Go figure. Okay, what are we on? What number are we on?
I actually lost track of the numbers. I'm just going off my list right here. But
number 6?
Coco.
I think because my last one was Alien Covenant.
3, 4, 5. That was 6 for me.
Well, my number 6, was Killing Gunther.
That was a good movie. I liked Killing Gunther.
And that's one of those movies, too, where it's like, I'll probably say, realistically, at the end of the day, there's probably movies before this that are actually better, but it was one of the ones when I watched that movie, and it's not the fact that it's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. That only just is fucking like icing on the cake that fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger's in it. And he's only in the last 20 minutes, but it's like some of the most magical Arnold acting you've ever seen.
Well, plus you never thought you'd see Arnold in my little like nighty, like spray painting.
Like, that's one of the best parts to it. Like a girl
fucking with a corpse.
Yeah, and having jokes and everything, and going like, ew. But
it's fucked up, right?
It's more like what makes this movie is like when I watch this movie, it has that feeling like, oh fuck, like it gives you that feeling like I could go out and make movies. Like it gives you that like shit. If this movie would have came out when I was like 15 years old, this would have been almost like my Clerks. Like I would have saw this and been like, shit, anything's possible other than getting Arnold Schwarzenegger at the end.
Well, even though there's explosions and guns, it looks obtainable. Aside from Arnold Schwarzenegger, it looks very because it's not even like the effects even look bad. I mean, it looks like stuff you could probably do today on like After Effects or something like that.
Yeah, it just looks simple enough. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
and it's also one of those things where it's like like you said, like, you know, this seems like it kind of makes you want to make something. I think if I saw this movie probably back in 2008 or 2009, we were doing a lot of live action stuff, we probably would have made something really inspired or similar to this.
Yeah, because this movie, it was just like a very inspiring like filmmaking movie, just going like, oh fuck, it's easily possible. It had cool creative characters in it. That's what I liked about it. Every single character is very distinct. They had their own little motives and so on. I liked because it was shot in that kind of documentary style. So that was the other thing too, is by being shot in the documentary style, you're like, fucking smart idea.
And plus,
that made the shooting like super simple. Because like I just look like if you were doing this as a home movie, fuck, you just need one camera. You don't even need to fucking have multiple cameras or anything like that. You just take that one camera and just have the one token friend who's your videographer fucking walk around following you everywhere. It was no different than really a lot of movies we shot as kids. Now that I think about it, like that was exactly how it was. And I think that's what I liked so much about it. As I said, like there's probably movies before on my list that are actually better movies. Shit, I guess Justice League is by the fact I'm calling it a 4 out of 4. But Killing Gunther was just such a cool like idea, such like a, oh dude, it's so simple and so brilliantly executed. It's funny, but it's not like the comedy ever takes away from it. It still feels legitimate. It's got a bunch of people in it, and they're all doing great jobs. And then to top it off, when Arnold Schwarzenegger comes in, yeah, it's only like the last a little bit more than 20 minutes. He fucking steals the show so much. And it's just that thing, like, if you would have watched that movie and didn't know it was Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, you just flipped it on TV, and you're like, what's this Killing Gunther thing? That looks interesting.
The only problem with it, and it's not even really the movie, it's more of just the marketing, but at the same time, it's the only thing that got people in there. It's the reason why people didn't want to give it, the only reason people were frustrated in the first place with this movie, because it has a lot of low reviews, and I think it's, and everything I read was, Arnold doesn't come in until the end! And I think that if it was more of a surprise, like we talked about this before, like, and no offense to the guy who stars in the movie, because he did a good job, and he's also the writer, the director, and the producer.
Yeah, Taron Gillen.
Maybe even edited it, who for all we know.
Yeah.
He does a good job, and you can see this is a passion project. If there was like, you know, like one or two more like bankable stars in it that weren't as big as Arnold, you could probably sell it on that, and then surprise, oh fuck, that's Arnold at the end, and keep it as a big surprise.
Yeah, but I think by keeping it kind of like small and low key. But that's the thing, exactly, because you see Arnold, he's fucking on the cover.
That's the reason
he's
sell
the top
movie.
billing. I mean, I get it. You need to do that to sell it, but I always just see this movie's like the one. Like, I can't wait to show people and not tell them that it's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Just go, hey, here's this fun action comedy that I got. Because the thing is if you get to the end, you're like, oh fuck, Arnold's in it. Like, that would be like the coolest fucking surprise you could possibly have in a movie. And see, I went into it knowing that Arnold wasn't in it until like kind of a little bit later into it.
I figured they'd do that. At first I thought like it was going to be like paralleling, like they'd show, because I saw the trailer before the movie. I figured it would be like, we see what these guys are doing, then we see what Arnold's doing. And then once the movie's going on, I'm like, okay, Arnold's going to come in at the very end.
And I'll say this, I think that the movie could also work just as well in paralleling it and seeing it the whole way. And I'll say this, maybe even a little bit better, but at the same time, that surprise at the same time is also so fucking awesome. It's like a toss-up. Like, probably having more Arnold is always better than than having less Arnold. That's kind of like the given. But also by a surprise factor, I think that's just like such a cool way to do it as well, too.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, you get to go on.
I was going to say, other thing about the movie is, because I am tired of found footage, but this actually gives a reason. The guy, he has the videographers at gunpoint saying, "You're not fucking leaving. Never turn off the camera." So there's a reason why they're always there.
Yeah, I like that. And then I also like, too, because Arnold Schwarzenegger has his own, he's like, I heard they're making a documentary, I got my own crew.
So we see it from his perspective.
And I like how Arnold's crew also has like 3 cameras, and there's like a fight scene at the end between like Taron and fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. And it's like, once again, this is another thing. It's just like the creativity in this movie is what blows me away. Fucking the cameramen get shot and killed, but wherever their camera lies, this is the 3 cameras we cut between. And I'm like, fucking great idea. Like that's I mean, this movie is so fucking fresh. It is like a new experience to like the old medium of movies, and it's amazing you can do it. And I feel it's one of those ones. I think it's just that thing. Everybody sees Arnold on the cover. They think it's going to be Arnold all the way through, and then they're pissed because he's not in it the whole time, so they leave it a bad review. But it is, like, I think it's like an awesome movie. And here's the thing. All the other actors are all fucking, like, great. They all hold their own.
I feel bad. This movie actually kind of got by me. I feel bad that... I mean, I saw it, but I totally, like, oh, shit, yeah, Killing Gunther. And that was... I kind of wish I threw this one on my list. I was like, oh, yeah, because that was a really good movie.
Yeah, this one was one of those ones, like, the second I saw it, I'm like, I know that's going to be on my top list. I like it that much. But, yeah. I bought it the other day because it just came out on DVD or Blu-ray, and it's like, I look back, I'm like, oh, I wish I had a little bit more special features, because I was really hoping, I'm like, this movie looks like a movie that's going to have 6 special features, like, you know, great behind the scenes and stuff. And it looks like it's only got deleted scenes. It's like, oh, I don't know.
Maybe there's more Arnold.
Maybe there's more Arnold than those deleted scenes. You never know. It could have sweet deleted scenes too. Who knows? But
yeah.
So there's that. But yeah,
I'll say plus the cast of each character. It's not like they're just throwaway characters. The whole like ragtag crew of assassins are all pretty likable too.
Yeah, it almost feels. I'll say it almost feels like video game, like almost like where each character like has their own skill base and so on. You know, and I think that's just really cool. So Killing Gunther is that movie that it's not getting enough credit for being actually a pure amazing movie.
I was like the explosive guy. Like I was one day working explosives in the land in like some mines, and one day I just didn't like my boss and just oops went off.
Yeah, that was like my favorite character that wasn't Arnold. Like that guy was great.
I don't remember his name. He's an SNL guy, but yeah.
I think a lot of those guys are all kind of like the side SNL guys. Like they're not like, you know, the main ones that you always see like on everything. I think they're the guys who's like, oh, we need a 6th character in here.
I just like the whole thing. Like, you know, like I think Mitch was the main character's name. He's like, you know, I would do anything for Mitch. Would you kill him if someone hired you? Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah, just like right away.
I have to think about it.
But that's, I mean, it's like, it's funny, but the comedy never, it doesn't like distract from it. It works as this good action comedy. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that's my whatever number 6.
Okay, so mine coming up here is, now we're going into familiar. This might speed it on a little bit more. Logan.
Oh, and that's number 5.
Yeah, Logan's pretty high up there for me. So yeah, Logan is my next one. We already talked about Logan in detail. Just really love it. Just the idea of it's a toned down version of Old Man Logan, but it's essentially just modern day Western, but with X-Men characters. So,
yeah. Plus, I guess this is the other thing too, is I guess I'll throw this in so I didn't mention it. So like, you know, in the original version you got Hawkeye, obviously like my favorite Marvel character, and it's like a blind one, but I think Professor Xavier actually works in that series actually almost better to be his fucking buddy character involved.
At one point in time, it was going to be a blind version of Cyclops, who went Professor X instead.
See, that would have been cool, too. I'm not going to deny that, but I think the way that movie goes, and the fact that Professor X is the one that kills everybody and not Logan, I felt like, oh, fuck, that's actually better than even the comic book. Because I think the idea that, like, here's a guy who says, I'll bring you in. I'll teach you. It's all going to be good. Your parents won't molest you anymore, you know what I mean, because of your powers, you know? And the fact it's like, oh no, fuck, who's the guy that kills him is the guy that said they would protect him and everything like that. I think that, to me, when I saw it, I was like,
tragic.
Shit, that makes that story like even stronger. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Logan's fucking awesome. Well, speaking of other tragedies, my number 5 is All Eyes on Me.
Ooh, that was the Tupac one.
Yeah, the Tupac. And I saw this movie twice in theaters. Like, I liked it that much. I was like, fuck,
I wanted to see that one.
And it's like, I'm always a sucker for biopics anyways. Like, you give me a biopic, like, it was like when they had that movie Joy or whatever a couple years ago, and it's like, I didn't know what the fuck that was about. It was just like, I saw it's like, oh, it's got Jennifer Garner in it.
Lawrence?
Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence, and it's like, because it's just her face. You know what I mean? It's like those face movies. You know, on the post, you have no idea. And I remember watching it as one movie, it's like,
will it bring me joy?
Fuck. It's a biopic on the lady who started the Home Shopping Network thing. It's like, what the fuck? That's cool. Like, so it's like, those, I don't know what it is, biopics are always awesome. And like, speaking of Tupac, this is kind of like the third one to like the rapper kind of biopics that they've sort of had, you know. It started off with Notorious, which is fucking awesome. And the other thing too is the guy who plays Biggie in that one comes back into All Eyes on Me and rephrases the role, which is fucking cool. And then of course you had Straight Outta Compton, which I'd say is definitely like the best one of all. Of that trilogy, it's the best one, but like they're all fucking good.
What if Anthony Mackie played Tupac Shakur in this? There'd be like an expanded universe.
You mean in the Notorious?
Well, he was in Notorious, right? What if he played him in this one?
I will say, like, because That would have been interesting, but I say the guy who plays him in All Eyes on Me looks like fucking identical. We're like, I will say, like, when I see Anthony Mackie, I just go,
oh, your wings.
Yeah, well, it's just kind of weird because it's like he doesn't really look like Tupac. It just looks like Anthony Mackie like cosplaying as fucking Tupac. It's not saying it's bad, but it's kind of like, oh, okay, that's an interesting choice. Mm-hmm. I mean, I love Anthony Mackie, but still.
Yeah, I love listening to that guy talk. He should have a podcast.
He's so fucking funny. He's so good. But no, All Eyes on Me, like I thought was an awesome movie. Just kind of going through his life from being kind of like a kid all the way up to his death. Obviously, that's kind of like it goes farther on, you know. But like, it's just a good story. You know, it's just I don't know what it is. Like those rappers have like very interesting stories, and maybe it's this kind of thing. Like I learned this by reading like autobiographies. You know, like I started off, you know, you're reading all the rock and roll ones. And then you get to a point where, like, after you've read a handful of really good ones, you know, like The Dirt's fucking awesome, The Beatles one's good, you know, Scar Tissue's fucking good. But then you get to a point where you start reading them and you're like, you know, these books are starting to sound the same now. It's like everybody's fucking stories.
It's a revolving door in and out of rehab for after a while.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I guess that's the difference between, like, VH1 Behind the Music. After a while, you start watching those, you're like, shit, they all start to have the same kind of, like, storyline going on. So you start to go to different places. I remember, like, next I started reading a lot of, like, wrestlers' autobiographies and so on. And it seems like now it's like, I haven't read it in, like, I don't know if they have autobiographies, but, like, you get to these, like, movies like this, and it's like, oh, here's, like, the same time period that you really like, but it's almost like a completely different music story and completely different lives, you know what I mean? Because it's like, really, it's that same time period of like, well, what else is going on? Oh, well, Nirvana's playing, and Soundgarden's playing, and Rage Against the Machine's out there, and Marilyn Manson's starting to get started off, and Rob Zombie, but then also, there's this really big thing going on called rap.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, to me, what I like about it is like, I go back, and even though I didn't, like, really listen to rap a whole lot as a kid, like, I know lots of this music, just because you just hear it, you know what I mean? Whether it's in movies, because that's mostly where I know about rap. I know about rap from movies. It's like, how do I know about rap? Because they're actors, and their songs appear in movies, and that's how I know it.
Well, to be honest, we both kind of grew up listening more to rock and hard rock and punk, so it's kind of like we're both kind of
classic rock, especially.
Classic rock, definitely, yeah, a lot of that. So it's kind of like we're both kind of late to rap, so it's kind of oh shit, this has always been. I mean, I know it's been there, but kind of looking.
But it's that kind of thing.
Going into the more open mind when you're older.
Well, I think too, it's like you get burnt out on genres. You know what I mean? Like there's a period where I thought like classic rock's the fucking shit, and then it's like after a while you're like, well, I fucking almost heard it all, so I need something different. And then you start you go through the rock place. You know, you go to like your grunge section, you go to your heavy metals, and you go to you find every different
decades.
But you get to a point where you're like, fuck, I'm kind of like burnt out of this. What do I need now? It's like, oh shit, here's like rap and everything like that. So I kind of came into it like, and like the last, really due to these movies is really what got me like really into fucking rap. Like, and I started fucking reading up on it. Shit, I watched an 8-hour documentary on hip hop, and I was fucking getting way into it. It's like, damn, this is great. Like, I fucking love this stuff.
I feel like the next one's probably going to be the Run DMC movie, or maybe.
Dude, I can't wait for the rest. Because Run DMC, that's like one of those ones, like, because there is a handful of those rap people that, like, I would, because it was like, they played with Aerosmith, it's okay.
Yeah, I won't be judged. Or, like, you know, RZA wrote, I think he wrote Tao of the Wu-Tang, so I want to say that movie may happen one day.
Because that'd be fucking awesome. Because whenever RZA's involved with something, I'm like,
I like RZA a lot.
I love RZA. And I look at fucking, like, shit, he was one of those guys who made, when he made fucking the movie,
Man with the Iron Fist.
Man with the Iron Fist, like, dude, that movie's so fucking good. As well as ones too, like, the more times I've watched it, it's like, I like it even more. Because I think it's like when I first went to it, I was assuming it was going to be like more of a straight up kung fu movie, not necessarily like a weapons movie. But once I realized it was a weapons movie, I was like, oh, dude,
Soul Calibur kind of.
Yeah, I fucking love that. Now that's getting kind of off track here. All Eyes on Me, I think is a fantastic. Like, everybody that's in it, they play it real well. You know, the characters are great. They got the good songs in it. You got your kind of like cameos of people coming on. And I just think there's something about that story. Like, that story of like 90s gangster rap is a very interesting time period. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so much kind of, like, because I went back, I was like, after, like, watching, I was so fucking ecstatic. I was like, when I'm like, yeah, I gotta go catch up on some of these movies I either haven't seen in a long time or whatnot. Like, that kind of, like, early 90s black cinema. Mm-hmm. Like, because it's, like, all
like Juice and all that?
Yeah, like, there's Juice, and then there was, like, you know, obviously Boys in the Hood. I went and rewatched that one again. And, you know, of course, you got Friday and all that kind of stuff where it starts to be kind of fun. But it's a very interesting time period that, like, it's always been there, and it's always sad, but I guess it's one of those ones where it's just kind of like, it was sort of like an extra movie that I just never got around to. It's like now kind of going back, it's just like, it's so fresh. And like, you know, you try to listen to like, you see like new rap, it's like a lot of times it's kind of like, I don't get it. Like maybe it's just because I'm getting old or something like that. But like this stuff, I guess because it has like a purpose. Like I see behind what these people are fighting for. You know what I mean? I get like where they're coming from. Just because you can see it where some of these other people like, I mean, it's no different than like, I see the same thing in rock. I see that with metal bands and I feel like they feel kind of phony. Like, you don't really like. You're just.
You don't really worship the devil.
That's what I mean. Yeah, either one, you don't really worship the devil, or you don't really like fucking like live and dream. You're not Pantera. Like Pantera, you watch fucking Pantera. That to me is always going to be like the heaviest music because like you can feel it. Where now people are like, why are you heavy? Well, I detuned my guitar like down 5 levels. That's why you're heavy? Yeah, that's why we're like the heaviest band. No, you have to feel that heaviness. It's not just because you detune it and you make your guitar more distorted. No. You have to like literally. It's like a lifestyle choice. It's almost like martial arts. That's where the Wu-Tang Clan comes in because like that's how I look at hip hop. Hip hop's like it's like a martial arts kind of like it's this weird like almost like lifestyle choice. Like I mean, that's like any music in a sense.
Well, I was never really. I'm by no means aficionado on hip hop or rap, but I got my couple of bands that I do like and do listen to, and I'm always more open to hearing new stuff. There is the stuff that just kind of runs together to me, which is more the. I guess what I've heard people call like kind of more mumbly rap, which is usually
that stuff's fucking weird.
Mumbly, like like club shit, which doesn't really.
It just sounds like literally like the hipster version of rap.
Like that does nothing for me, but at the same time though, I can think of some modern artists that I do like. Like I do like MF Doom. I'm not sure how you feel about this dude, but I like Kid Cudi. There's some others out there that are escaping me right now. But yeah, I am curious about that movie.
All Eyes on Me. I kid you not. Go out of your way and watch it. I fucking love it. I think it's like pure perfect. Like it's one of those. It's like a biopic that's like so dialed in. As I said, like I love when they do any kind of musician like biopics. You know what I mean? Like that's a genre that's like I always really enjoy. And this movie I thought was done fantastic. And it's sad that like this movie just kind of came and went. You know what I mean? Like
Did they show him dying?
Yeah, it does.
Actually shows it
because he gets shot like in Las Vegas or whatever. When he like driving.
Yeah, I wasn't sure it was one of those things where just
if
they just pulled next to him.
No. Those are old movies. Like the days of those kind of films, I think are over because that's how like biopics used to be in like the '90s and back. It's like I was thinking like Selena and whatnot. Like it fucking just like has a cutaway. It's like doesn't even fucking show her get shot. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like that's a great fucking movie, but still, it's like
I don't remember. Did she get shot in the head or in the chest or? What was it?
I don't know. In the movie, it cuts away, so I just
never know.
Shot. Yeah, shit. That's why I remember. Like this sounds so weird, but it's like when we watched Harvey Milk. I thought I was like, oh shit, it just shows him getting fucking shot to death. I'm like, it was like one of the first times because all the other biopics beforehand always would cut away, and I was like, oh fuck, Sean Penn's just going down. He's taking it like a man.
Wouldn't expect that.
Yeah, but no, yeah, really check out All Eyes on Me. I feel bad. Like it's one of those movies, like one of the many movies I've ever gone to the theater. It's like, yep, only people here on opening day. You know, and that's more like
surprise for a redneck town.
Yeah, I mean, like that's kind of. I mean, I know anytime it's a foreign movie. Or not foreign movie. Foreign
what are they saying? Put on the subtitles!
Put the subtitles on. I can't understand the two-packer.
Why is he saying yo? And I don't understand this foreign language. It's coming out of his face.
But no. It's one of those ones, like, and sadly enough, this movie just kind of came and went. Like, it literally came, I mean, like, I just didn't hear a whole lot of talk about it, so.
Alright, well, that's on my list. That's on my list to check out. So, I got my number 4 here. Shape of Water.
Shape of Water. I never got to see this one because I had to go all the way to Bethesda to go see it, and I thought about doing it. I just never got around to it.
I think I talked about it briefly on a few episodes.
Yeah, we talked about it like last episode or so.
Yeah, basically it's just well, I guess you call it modern day fairy tale. It takes place in the '60s, and it's
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Black Lagoon love story. With a lady who's a mute, and it does this Guillermo del Toro thing where it balances, really harsh, violent, real world stuff with whimsy and kind of hope, and it's one of these things that it's more that contrast. If it was too much of the other, it would feel kind of weird. But the fact that it has those things combined, like the idea you have this movie where it feels kind of like. This is what I like about these kind of movies. It feels kind of like a Disney movie, but then it takes a hard right turn into some violent shit. Because you could have the same concepts. Like, look, we made friends with this creature inside this government facility. Let's get it out of here. That sounds like it could be a Disney movie. Yeah. With enough really cool artistic direction.
Like they're testing drugs on him or something horrible.
Like when
we gotta save him.
Something like that. But then it just goes like, oh, it turns out if we leave the thing alone in the house, it could fucking eat the cat. Or it just might lose its shit because it's a wild animal and scratch someone and run out the fucking door.
Yeah.
So it's like those things, or Michael Shannon plays this really, really, he's the villain. Mm-hmm. And he's meant to be evil. There's no way, he's not meant meant to be a likable guy, but he's like this really weird, creepy ass guy. And at some point, the Thing bites his fingers off. He gets the fingers sewed back on. They're starting to get green, and he just gets frustrated, just rips his own fingers off, like blood and pus come out of it, and just shakes it off, just keeps on going. Some point he shoots some fucker in the face, and the guy's still alive, just brings his finger into his cheek, hooks it around, and just drags him through the rain, starts zapping him for information. So
awesome.
And that's one of those things, like, I'm not saying for that reason alone that makes it awesome. I mean, I like that kind of shit, but it's also one of those things like, oh shit, there's stakes to this, and this is the kind of shit you don't usually see in these kind of modern day fairy tales.
Yeah, well, it's like in fairy tales, like really, other than Guillermo del Toro, nobody fucking makes fairy tale movies anymore. It seems like.
And
he's like the last kind of like, I don't know. It's like or fantasy movies are generally, unless they're action fantasy. Like I don't, you know, what I mean, like Lord of the Rings, like that. But like grand scale action ones, what I always call traditional fantasy, is such a lost genre.
And he doesn't, and he does a great job of that. And it's one of those things where it's both visually interesting. I'll say in the middle it does slow down a little bit, but it's at least fun to watch, at least pretty to look at. Because even when you don't even see like the government facility and this crazy looking monster, which sometimes you can see it's partially CG. A lot of the times though, you can see it's a guy in a suit. There is just at least the sets and even like the way how the old 1960s kind of vibe to everything is just.
Well, because what it sort of reminds me of, because I haven't seen it, but like just from the trailers and everything else about it, it's like. You say fantasy, but what I always kind of looked at it, it's like it feels like it's totally trying to be like a 60s, exactly 60s monster picture. You know what I mean?
It is a monster picture with a lot of heart.
But with heart and stuff. Not like obviously like the old fashioned like, oh, it's coming to get you, teenagers. Get off the beach.
I mean, it is that to an extent because, you know, it's like, it's coming to get you, teenagers. But this one is like, oh, she actually fucks the thing. Which
shit, if we just fucked the monster, it would just leave us alone.
Yeah.
All it wanted was a little loving too.
Yeah.
It came from beyond to fuck.
That's what this one does too. No, but it's one of those things where the Thing, it's really
just literally like you just said the Thing, like fucking in like the Thing, not Junk, but fucking Kurt Russell's like, we're just gonna fuck it, just like come on, get on the fuck pile.
Just a train of this thing,
just a bunch of like fucking like scientists down in fucking Antarctica, just fucking everybody's like around the Thing, like this circle, just fucking it, like come on, it just needs to be fucked and it'll go away.
It just goes up into like the spaceship, flies away, and just like, oh, imagine if we try to kill that thing. Oh yeah,
that'd be tough. You just know the Thing gets back in the spaceship, just like, yeah, just sitting there like fucking just
all like six of its faces, just kind of like feeling awkward.
It thought it was the one that was gonna fucking be conquering, and instead it was just fucking raped and abused.
It's in the shower, just like crying. Like huddled in, like, you know, holding itself with its own 8 arms. No, that doesn't happen. But she does fuck it, and I didn't see that coming. I actually assumed it was like, oh, we bonded or whatever, and then like, oh, they actually fucked. How about that? I didn't see that. But
the part where she gets like the strap-on dildo on, it starts getting fucking weird.
They don't actually show it, but she actually pantomimes like, because she's talking to her friend, like, how does it happen? And she pantomimes like. Something opens up, a dick comes out. So, yeah, one of those things. So, and she's like, oh, I can't trust any man, even if he looks flat down there. So, and it's just, the movie even has like a sense of humor. But I guess I kind of like when you could have a movie with, because I feel like a lot of movies this day and age, it's really funny or it's really dark. Or I don't feel like they have a big variety of different emotions or different themes, where this one has a lot of it, and they all it seems very seamless. They all smooth. It's really a really smooth running movie, and I just really enjoyed it. It feels kind of like It feels kind of like it takes place in the world of BioShock. It has that Art Deco kind of art style. The buildings have that kind of look to them and that kind of structure.
No, that movie looked really fucking awesome. I was really bummed that like they fucking cock teased us with the trailer, and then the fucking movie got limited release. I was like, what the fucking shit is that?
It's good.
But yeah, so I want to see that one. Well, anyway, Guillermo del Toro is always like, you're always in for something special when he makes a movie. You know what I mean? He is one of those kind of guys. Even if maybe the movie's not like the greatest movie, it will still be like one of those like legendary movies where you really think about it and it comes back to you and you just kind of think about the design and everything like that.
If anything in his movies, even though I like Hellboy 1 and 2, I more like those movies. I mean, the concept is cool. I like the characters and all. More than anything, I just love the way the world looks and the characters and the creature design. That's something that more almost attracts me to Guillermo del Toro. Just more the visual aesthetic It just happens this movie has both the visual aesthetic and the story down. So I think this is probably one of my favorite movies he's made.
Yeah, it sounds like a really cool one. I can't wait to see that, but yeah. Let's see, what's my next one? Well, since you had more fucking love.
Yeah, love, but people die.
I got a bromance movie called Birth of the Dragon.
I knew this was gonna be in there. This is only reason this one is high up as it is because you want to piss someone off.
Dude, no, Birth of the Dragon is serious. I watched it.
I know you like. I know. I'm sure it's probably good. I'm sure people probably
fucking good. And here's the thing. It's also, I mean, like, granted, it's like the first kung fu movie since we got this. Calls back to our Wu-Tang days of 2 lists ago, but whatever. Since Man of the Iron Fist was literally the last kung fu movie like in major theaters, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, obviously, yeah. If you go to fucking Chinatown, you probably find fucking kung fu movies, but you're not gonna find them in Americatown. I'm just saying that Americatown doesn't like kung fu movies anymore, apparently. So the idea of this coming back was a big fucking deal, and just like fucking Tupac's movie, nobody was fucking in the cinema. It was sad. It was like, yeah, nobody wanted to see.
This came up here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
So, and yeah, Birth of the Dragon, so fucking cool. It's like, I mean, it's Bruce Lee, so anything Bruce Lee, it's like, it's another biopic. You know what I mean? Like, that's always going to be something that gravitates me to it. And what I was like, is when I watched the trailer, it kind of seemed like, oh, Wong Jackman's coming. He's going to fucking beat the fuck out of Bruce Lee for teaching people. Like, they use that kind of, like, almost the propaganda of that Wong Jackman's coming. He's gonna fight Bruce Lee because Bruce Lee's teaching fucking kung fu. They say to white people, but technically Bruce Lee was teaching it to everybody. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But it's in America, it's fucking white people. So that's how it was. Fucking 60s. Hoorah! Bruce. So that's what it is, and that's how the movie's kind of sold. It's almost sold. That was like the propaganda. That's almost they put into magazines back in the day. You know, Chinese magazines, of course. They're like, yeah, Wong Jackman's coming. He's gonna fuck Bruce Lee up because he's teaching the fucking dirty Westerners kung fu and all the secrets to it. But instead, it's like the way the movie kind of plays out. I like is it almost does it the other way around, where it's like, here's Bruce Lee and everything like that, but it kind of flips it on you. It goes like, almost Bruce Lee looks more like the jackass to all this because Wong Jackman just is here because he fucked up in a demonstration between, the Shaolin monks and the Tai Chi masters, and he accidentally, severely hurt somebody, so they sent him to humble himself to fucking San Francisco and wash dishes until he cleaned the sins of his, mistakes off, So that's why he's there, and nobody fucking knows. He's like... it's got the white guy in the middle, which I know in the trailer always looks like, why is there just that token white guy?
That was my thing about it. It's just it's a Bruce Lee movie starring a white dude.
But the white guy, it's more like it's one of those ones I really say it's like a triple star. It's really like Bruce Lee, Wong Jackman, and the white guy's just like the in between guy because he's training with Bruce Lee, and then he goes over to Wong Jack. He's like, oh shit, somebody new's in town. It just kind of runs over there and fucking he's like, where the fuck's your entourage? He's like that. He's like, I'm a Chinese man in America. Who the fuck do you think's gonna show up for me? Oh, I thought there's gonna be limos and shit and all kind of stuff. So this guy ends up being the guy who sort of shows them around, and he's kind of going back and forth. And you can almost say he is sort of like the gateway character for somebody to jump in and go oh, okay, I don't understand who these Chinese fellows are, but that white guy I can relate to. He rides a motorcycle like Captain America.
He's blonde-haired and blue-eyed too.
Yeah. So there's kind of that. And he's almost like the middle ground of this story kind of going on. And then you kind of realize that Bruce Lee, because it's early Bruce Lee, so it's almost kind of like where Bruce Lee was kind of super full of himself. Because I think of you get to later day Bruce Lee, where he is the whimsical leader who is very humble and everything like that. But I think in early days, I am the fucking best.
Who's gonna fucking stop?
Yeah, who's gonna stop me? I mean, there's a part where they're shooting an early movie in that. And there's one of the guys who's one of the students of Bruce Lee. He's like, Bruce, but if I go this direction, they won't be able to see me on camera. He's like, no shit, dipshit. Who the fuck do you think's the most important one here?
Do they say something similar to that right there? Do they actually say no fuck, dipshit or anything like that?
Yeah, he says no shit. Or no something dipshit. He calls him a dipshit or whatever Bruce Lee does. Who the fuck? I'm the star, not you. And so on. So it gets across. It's kind of weird because it almost makes Bruce Lee sort of the bad guy, but you're led to believe that Wong Jackman sort of is. But then you realize that the Wong Jackman guy is just a very humble man. Who just treats, it's martial arts is just this, spiritual thing. It's not about competition. It's not about who's best, and so on. And that's what he's kind of he's saying it's nothing wrong that the Westerners learn it, but they kind of treat it it's oh shit, if I learn martial arts, I can just go downtown and beat anybody up I want. And it's that's the wrong way. That's not what it's about, Mm-hmm. Westerners will take it and they'll make it into some kind of weapon where it's supposed to be a positive thing. And it's got kind of, your classic Chinese values and kind of cool things. And I'll even say this movie is almost like a perfect gateway movie. If you never really watched martial arts movies and you want to get into them, total great starting place. You know what I mean? There's just those certain ones, like, you don't want to just go straight into, like, the full subtitled Chinese movies. That might be a little too much for normal people, but you sometimes need those gateway films. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Rush Hour in the 90s was a good gateway movie to, like, martial arts. You know? And so on. But this movie, like, overall, like, everything about it's fucking awesome. The fight scenes are cool. The story's cool. It's cool just seeing 1960s fucking San Francisco. Like, that time period's awesome. And just kind of learning about this Wong Jackman character who is almost just as cool as fucking Bruce Lee. And even Bruce Lee himself, even if he is kind of doing kind of dick things, he still is cool. Like, you know, he goes to, like, this tournament or whatever. Because at that time period, everything was always about, like, oh, what's better, Japanese or Chinese? So are you Chinese or are you Japanese? And, of course, so they always have the karate masters versus, you know, the Chinese. And, you know, the whole point was to say... you know, which one. And, of course, they had this Chinese, or the Japanese guy, you know, was master for like 20 years or whatever, and then Bruce Lee comes and he's like, oh, that's about as old as I am, you know, being kind of a dick and everything, and he, of course, wins this, and then Wong Jackman shows up to see it and everything like that. He's like, well, come on out here, we'll fucking fight, you know what I mean? Like, come on, show me what you got, you know? And he's like, no, I just came to watch, you know? So it does make Bruce Lee be kind of the dick. But as it goes on, they go to have that battle that they have, you know, where it's like a hidden battle, too, but it involves, like, the white guy, of course, he's, like, this girl he wants to save and everything. That sounds kind of goofy. It actually works better in the story or whatnot. You know, I mean, it's really just a white guy who's, like, really wants to be Asian at the end of the day. Like, that's, like, he's like, I'm from Indiana, and I just fucking love Asia.
I just want to be like you!
Because that's all it is. Like, he's got fucking Asian friends, he's hanging out with Bruce Lee, he's fucking hanging out with Wong Jackman. He just really fucking wants to be Chinese more than anything else. He's living in Chinatown, San Francisco.
There's that joke that Dave Chappelle has. Like, if you look at a group of brothers, there's always that one white guy. Like, how the fuck did that guy get there? Stay the fuck away from that guy. There's no telling what he did to get all those black dudes' respects.
Exactly like that. And that's how this one is too. And like, and then that fucking final battle scene is awesome. So fucking cool. Like, just great fucking kung fu mastery and everything like that. It's a fantastic film.
Does it end in a way, without spoiling too much, Bruce Lee becomes a little bit more humble? Like, even though he wins the fight,
it's like a learning experience kind of thing. You know what I mean? And it's not like one person technically wins. It has that kind of feel of like, no, we both kind of like fought for so long, and this is kind of how it is. And now it's like Bruce Lee sort of gets it. You know what I mean? Obviously, Wong Jackman didn't need to learn anything else. He was just more just kind of there to kind of experience. But it sort of sets Bruce Lee almost on, I guess you could say, his path to becoming the legend, because he's not the legend yet, you know what I mean? He's just a kind of like, he's in America, you know.
He's a bad motherfucker, but he's not the legend.
Yeah, but he's not the legend. He's starting, but he hasn't gone the distance yet, so that's what I thought it was fucking amazing. I'm surprised you still haven't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't got a chance to. I'll jump on that one. I guess the big thing about it is I just saw the white dude in the center. I'm just like, fuck that. Just focus on like Wong Jackman and Bruce. That was my thing.
It focuses on that like a lot. That guy's there, but it's not like he doesn't take anything away from the movie, and he's not he's not like a bad character. He's not. There's nothing wrong with him. It's like he works.
Okay.
He is like, I guess you could say he's the Paul Walker of this fucking Fast and the Furious universe. But you know, at the end of the day, like it works. You know, it's the gateway in. But yeah, I kid you not, that movie's fucking amazing. Pure 4 out of 4. Perfect movie.
I'll try and rent that when I get home.
Yeah.
So that was your number 3 right there?
That was I guess, number 4.
Okay. Well, I'm on my number 3. My number 3 is I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore. Now, that's a Netflix movie. Mm-hmm. And I talked about this movie. I know I talked to you personally about it. I don't know if I
don't think we talked about the podcast.
Well, it's this really good movie. It's a very relatable movie to some extent. I know I've been saying that a lot. But I mean, because everybody, if you've ever been robbed, if your house has ever been broken into, you have this initial reaction of like,
burn them all!
You kind of have that, and this movie has that a little bit. It's not full on falling down, but it stars the girl. I forget the actress's name, but she played Beth in
Detroit Rock City.
Detroit Rock City. She's in a bunch of other stuff.
Shit, Detroit Rock City is a movie we gotta do a retrospect on. I thought about that a while ago.
We can do that one.
That's a fucking great movie.
That's a good movie. Yeah, so she plays Beth in Detroit Rock City. She's the main character. And she just plays like an everyday person, and she's just getting kind of frustrated with life because she's almost having this self-existential crisis of like, we're all gonna fucking die one day, and she's feeling separate from everybody in the world. She doesn't really feel like she can connect to anybody. And then one day, somebody breaks into her house and steals her shit. And she's trying to figure out like who stole it. In the process, she bumps shoulders with Elijah Wood, who at first he looks like a stereotypical, just a hateable douchebag who looks socially awkward and detached and just like, oh, fuck this dude. But then as time goes on, you kind of learn to like him. And once she kind of like realizes who stole her shit, she then goes, she's trying to find somebody. And earlier she bumped into Elijah Wood. And you find Elijah Wood, kind of like that other guy in Birth of the Dragon. He's this nerdy-ass white dude who's just obsessed with martial arts. Mm-hmm. She walks in on him just like trying to like lift weights, and he has all these kung fu posters. And she's like, look, I actually kind of need your help. He's just like, what is it? Someone broke into my house. Like, somebody broke... This is a community, and he gets like very serious out of nowhere.
He grabs a pair of nunchucks and gets ready.
He grabs a pair of nunchucks, and then no, he actually doesn't grab. He doesn't grab a pair of nunchucks. He grabs like a morning star, what, is that a morning star?
The chain on the ball.
Chain and ball. Yeah, he grabs that and a pair of ninja stars.
That's awesome.
Well, we're doing this, and they go to this house. And I know I'm not going to lay out the whole movie. I just really want to get this part across because it says the sense of humor the movie has. Mm-hmm. So they go there, and it just looks like a bunch of like, people in the early 20s, just a bunch of delinquents or whatever. And then like he just busts in there. It's like, whoa, what the fuck's going on? Like some guy
swinging it around.
Like he accidentally hits one guy in the face with the Morning Star, and then like he throws like some like firecrackers down there. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And he like just throws a ninja star against the wall.
That's fucking awesome.
And they're like, well, what the fuck? And then she like, has like a little like find my phone, find my laptop, and then she is beeping, grabs it. She's like, that's what it's like when people steal your shit. You should know it's bad to steal people's shit. Like, I didn't steal your shit, but just want to let you know, someone else. I bought that from this old pawn shop up the road. And like, oh. And then she goes and gets the stuff. And as they're leaving, he has trouble pulling the ninja star out of it. He's like, that's how hard I threw it. And walks out. So then it becomes them.
So it's more like tracing like the steps of getting robbed.
Tracing the steps of getting robbed. So I'm not going to go over the whole movie. But that part right there kind of sets the whole tone of like, this is the kind of movie. I mean, that's already like probably 15 or 20 minutes into it. But that right there is the kind of vibe and the kind of humor the movie has. Huh. And as they trace the shit, things kind of happen in a weird way to where it gets more intense and more intense and more intense, and they deal with some really actual dangerous characters. But it's not like anything as high level as, oh shit, we're dealing with the mob. It's like, oh no, you're dealing with junkies who have nothing to live for, and they have a gun. Yeah. So it gets darker and more intense as the movie goes on, and it's just a really great dark action comedy.
Well, see, what I like what you say there is I like the idea that it doesn't go to like the mob, because that's like how the normal movie, if they were doing that, it would have been at first she goes and gets the stuff and it's just from like some regular like kids or whatever, but they'd be like, but next thing you know it was a mob thing or like that. But it's like, no, it's just shit, regular crooked ass people, and that's it. Like it doesn't go higher up the ladder, and I kind of like that.
They live in a van, and it does go a little higher in a way, but not to the degree of like, oh, we're dealing with fucking
Fat Tony.
We're not dealing with criminal geniuses here. Yeah, you're dealing with people who are dangerous as fuck.
Oh shit, it's Vin Diesel. He's stealing shit out of the back.
Yeah, if you're game over. No. Vin Diesel would waste these two fucks. So no, but you are dealing. It's more of interesting because it's like you're dealing with three people who are like, they're not criminal geniuses, but when you're dealing with people who have nothing to live for and they're just chasing money for a high, it's not trying to be like an anti-drug PSA either, but
it's not like Kingsman 2. Did you get to the end of Kingsman 2?
No, I didn't get to Kingsman.
It's fucking weird. At the end of Kingsman 2, like both the times I watched, and that's one of those movies too. Was like
comes a dose of Reaganism.
No, but it just had like that borderline like almost made on my list, but no, like it literally, because the whole thing's about drugs and all stuff, and now like what's her name's trying to like get all drugs legal and so on, because it should be the same as like alcohol, which sounds like a good thing on paper, like like that, but she's still an evil person. But the very end's like, once they get it, like they stop the thing like that, and it's like, okay, we stopped her and we saved the day or whatever like that. And then it's like Jeff Bridges like sits down, and he sits down like Channing Tatum's like, well, good, now you won't have to take drugs again. Here, have some good old whiskey. And it has like, but it almost feels like that should be a joke, but they like almost take it kind of seriously in the movie. You're like, are they serious about that? Like, is it supposed to be like one of those ones like, fuck drugs, it's all about the alcohol. Like, I don't know. It's
pot, I get, but it's one
no, they're like full on like
methamphetamines and heroin, like that.
The whole thing, pot, anything that's not alcohol. I mean, obviously it's an alcohol company, so I mean, like,
yeah, that's competition.
But I mean, like, because the president in that movie also has a thing. It's like, well, that's what I like. Is like the president's like, fuck them. It's just a bunch of derelict junkies anyway. It's like it all die for all I care. Get rid of them all and stuff. Like, I still like the story and everything's in Kingsman, but like when it ends, it has that kind of odd like, oh, well, that's kind of a weird way to go back. Because at first they're going with this thing like, you know what, sometimes normal people do, might just smoke meth one day. It just kind of happens. Shit happens. And stuff. And they kind of go with that. And then all of a sudden, the very end's like, fuck it. Good thing Channing Tatum got off those drugs. You're never going to fucking do that again. Here, have some whiskey. Be a man. Be an American, goddammit.
I got to finish that movie.
Yeah, you got to finish that movie. Shit, you're just missing out on all these big movies.
Yeah, I guess I am. Anyway, so I don't feel at home in this world anymore.
That's such a fucking long title.
It is a long title, but it's a good movie. It's a good movie.
Like, on Netflix, you would never even see the end of that. You would just see, like, I don't feel alone, ... Yeah.
Well, and as it goes on, it's it still has a lot of comedy in it, but that the more darker, realistic kind of comedy, more kind of awkward timing, and it's also about kind of because she almost has this self-essential thing like we're all gonna fucking die one day. We're all gonna my grandma because one of the things that got stolen was her grandmother's silverware, and she had a good relationship with her grandma. Like my grandma, was a nurse in in a war, did this, and then she kept on doing good things for her community. One day she has Alzheimer's and she's pissing herself, and then she's fucking dead. Now her shit's being stolen for like drug money. Mm-hmm. And it's almost kind of like facing the fact, oh, one day you're gonna die, but at the same time also facing it in the way of like, oh, you know what, it's the friends you meet along the way, kind of, without trying to be, it doesn't really seem too sappy about it, but actually, when the movie ends, you walk away with a good feeling.
Huh, that sounds like an interesting one. Yeah, I never watched Netflix, so I mostly miss out on those things.
And I will say this, without spoiling too much, there's a character, as soon as you see the character, you're like, I hate this fucker. I hate this fucker so much. Fuck this guy. I fucking hate him.
And they have an awesome death, finally.
Oh, it's such a good death. It's like a double whammy. Like, I won't say who it is, but there's a part where the dude something happens where his throat gets collapsed, something gets slammed in the chest with something, his throat collapses, he's choking, he's like, can't talk, he's like running out of the house and then gets hit by a fucking bus.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I was like, fuck yes!
That's always like some of the best parts. You just gotta fucking love that. Yeah, I'll check that one out at some point. That sounds like a cool story. Mm-hmm. Plus, you got Elijah Wood fucking like swinging around with Morningstar and Ninja Stars.
Yeah, he always walks around with like nunchucks. He's like obsessed with kung fu shit.
That's so cool. But I guess we're climbing up this list here. My number 3 is a movie that I know this is finally like where our list might start connecting, but is probably it's one of those ones like I know this was kind of a tough one because this one like rotated between like these couple slots here, but. I like this one still quite a bit, and obviously that's why it's my number 3, and that's Baby Driver.
Baby Driver was fantastic.
Like, Baby Driver was all around it's Edgar Wright, so he never lets you down. He's like literally a director you can like fucking bet on to never fucking fail you, because he's never had a bad movie. He's never even had an okay movie. He's never even had a good movie. They're all amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like all 5 of his movies are fantastic.
That's what I mean. Like his movies are all like 3.5 and up. Like he doesn't go below that.
And I watched this movie the other day, and every time I watch it, there's something I didn't notice before. The level of attention he has, the smallest thing. Like when they're in the laundromat and they're talking. Every washer, it's color-coded. Here's all the reds, here's all the blues, here's all the yellows, and it just kind of, every one of them is like that.
Yeah.
It's like weird things like that. Like
there's like almost like too much production design almost at the end of the day. And that's not a bad thing, but...
And people every so often will say something like, his stuff is more style than substance. You hear that bullshit once in a while.
That's not true at all. But he is definitely style, I'm not denying that, because he's like in that same category as like Guy Ritchie and Danny Boyle, and these guys that like really... I feel like it's almost like they came after like... They almost took like the style of Robert Rodriguez and then like the storytelling of Quentin Tarantino and then just took it to like a different level.
And for me, I feel like people say that, but he has so much love and so much attention to detail in everything he does. Mm-hmm. I feel like his movies are made for film fans more than anything else.
Well, that's what I feel like. I feel like his movies are in that Tarantino like, like I say like that hierarchy of like the Rushmore of filmmakers. You know what I mean?
He'd
like
be on there.
Yeah, and it's like, obviously if there's 4, I guess he wouldn't be on there. You know what I mean? If we only got 4, shit, it's going to be like, probably like Alfred Hitchcock, Steven Spielberg, fucking Stanley Kubrick.
Tarantino, I think has to be.
Yeah, maybe Tarantino, because it's like, I would say that, I'm not too sure. If you ask fucking...
if you have like a Rushmore, maybe like 20.
He'd be like the one young guy 15. Up on there, like the token fucking young guy. But still, he's in that like class, though, of like that, like I call like those pristine, like a Ridley Scott. And he's only has 5 fucking movies. But the thing is, like, shit. I can even take the first 5 fucking Ridley Scott movies, and they're not nearly as good as his fucking track record are. They're still fucking awesome. Don't get me wrong, but you know what I mean.
The other thing about Baby Driver is I heard some people complain about certain aspects of it, which is the relationship between the girl and Baby, and saying, you know, it happens really quickly, and she just kind of jumps into it. My thing is, yeah, you know why? Because we've seen 1,000 movies where he meets some girl that works at a diner, and it takes forever for them to get rolling. This one's like, you know what's gonna fucking happen. Let's cut to the chase. Montage.
Well, no, this is how I feel. It's going for that old school 50s style, because that's how it was like in the old days. You didn't just, you know, I mean, like, nowadays people think it's like, oh, you build up. Like, a lot of times like that, oh, it was like the love at first sight thing. Like, that's like...
That too, yeah.
That's what I go, it's like, I use this movie. It's like True Romance.
Yeah.
That movie's a perfect example. It's like, it literally just instantaneously happens. We don't need to fucking build up. And I think a lot of movies kind of had that back in the day. And nowadays, we're just so used to, like, the drawn-out fucking love story that, like... It's weird for people to see something happen quick. It's like, wait, that's not how it's supposed to happen.
Yeah, and I like that. I think it's two things. I think it is, yeah, it's definitely trying to go for a retro thing.
Yeah.
A lot of the music in it is even 60s music and all that, and even a little bit of 50s.
And even if it's like 90s and 2000 stuff, it's like retro-styled music.
Mm-hmm. And then a lot of the... Plus, it's taken into account that people who've seen this, you've seen a lot of movies, you know they're going to get together, so let's just focus on whenever you show them together, they're already together, they already like each other. I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to speed run that, because we see so many things where they do drag that out. Even the part, spoilers ahead again, even the part when his whole crew that he doesn't want to be with comes into the restaurant, she smiles for a second, then she sees his look and sees the people following him in there, and she's able to piece together something's wrong.
They don't make her retarded. That's what I like. Because that's the thing, is so many movies make the women retarded. And it's like, that's always like so fucking obnoxious. And it still happens to this day and age. And I'm not saying there's not retarded people out there. We all know that there is just stupid fucks. But sometimes it's like, in a movie it's like, well, this isn't real life. In real life, there is a lot of stupid fucks. But in a movie life, we can fix that. That's what writing's about. So I like how she is, like, quick to, like, get it. Not like, what are you doing with your friends there, huh? Huh? Oh, look it! You got new friends. Why don't I know about these friends? They're just like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, she doesn't do that. I was a little nervous for that scene. Like, please don't do that. Like, oh shit, she didn't. She picks up on this. She knows something's wrong.
Yeah.
And we're just talking about all the little small things in the movie, just their relationship, but just the level of just the opening credits when he's like the way how he orchestrates the whole movie to music.
Well, that's what this movie like is. Edgar Wright movies in general are. It's like. They're almost like, kind of like, I use John Wick as almost like that example of like how to like make action movies, but really Edgar Wright's like that too. You could could literally split up like segments of his movies and you could talk about it for like a week and then go to the next section and talk about it, because there's so much little things going on that you could break it down and really get in depth in it, and that's what makes it kind of magical. Almost like there is something really cool about just all the little things that he can add in these movies. And that's almost probably why he doesn't even make movies that often. Because he's really kind of like, his movies come out like what, like every 4 or 5 years, it seems like?
It takes him a minute. He is a passion project guy.
Yeah, I mean, probably at first it was a little bit quicker, I think, with like the...
It took longer for this to come out because he was in production hell with...
well, yeah, because technically
Ant-Man
he's supposed to
forever.
have an in-between movie with Ant-Man.
And then that fell through, and he just got a writing credit on that. And then, I wonder how much of that movie he actually directed, if any of it.
Yeah.
And then this took some time to come out, and I just love this movie. I thought
this movie was just full-on awesome. I think the story's cool because it has that kind of Tarantino feel to it. It's got great characters. Fucking Jamie Foxx is awesome in it. Like, it's an awesome villain.
And I said earlier about Jamie Foxx, like, I wish that, you know, he is... the way Jamie Foxx plays Bats, that's his character's name, the way he plays Bats in this movie, I wish that's how he played Electro.
Yeah, that would have been amazing.
This is one of those reminders of why Jamie Foxx is like probably one of my favorite actors, because
so good.
He's good at playing a psycho. He's good. He did a great job in Ray. You know, he's just in all. There's too much talent in that man.
There is
an amazing actor.
He's funny.
Singer. He's a stand-up comedian. There's too much fucking talent.
It's just like
that's
what I mean. That's what always kind of threw me off about him. Yeah, it's just like music, comedy, and acting, and you could be a pretty boy, and you could be an action star. It's fucking weird.
And he's not bad at any of it. It's like every so often you see one of those guys, oh no, you're talented. You can do all these things. You're good at it.
And he's humble too, like, because I've heard him on podcasts before. He's not like
he's
totally is like a guy who came from nothing and then like he gets it.
I heard him on Joe Rogan before, and he was fantastic on that. And it was a short podcast, wish it was longer, but he's one of those guys. Just like it's not like, oh, yeah, you're good at that. You're good at this too. Good for you. It's like, no, you're amazing at all that shit you do.
And then you do another thing and you're just as amazing at that. It's almost like too much talent for one man.
Yeah.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, and it's just like they underused him in Stealth. It's just like he's out of that movie.
They underused him and stuff. I just love how like that. Like go back to that movie. Remember that movie was like sold as like fucking like the next Top Gun.
It was sold as the next Top Gun, starring Jamie Foxx, who just won an Academy Award for Ray.
And then he's not really in it.
He's barely in it. Yeah.
But and then also that's like fucking Kevin Spacey's fucking awesome in this movie. I love his character a lot.
John Hamm.
John Hamm, really good too.
The girl from, I don't remember her name. She was in the From Dusk Till Dawn TV show. She played the Sam Hyde character. She was fantastic. And
yeah, she was really good.
Everybody,
almost said Eggy, but
Baby.
Yeah, Baby. I was saying like Eggsy.
Angela.
Fucking like, but like his fucking like black roommate guy, the old dude. Like that guy's fucking awesome too. And it's just like small things too. It's like this is where you could just have a roommate, but instead you make it an old guy. He can't speak, so they do sign language together and so on like that. And it just that sort of adds all these like extra little dips that you would not get if you just made it just like, who's this roommate? Oh, it's just just another kid, 22 years old. Whatever, you know what I mean? But it's like, no, he's rooming with an old guy. Why? Who the fuck cares? That's just having me as roommate. And they do sign language because he can't fucking speak. So it's just like, I think it's just small things like that. That's fucking cool and everything like that. And I like what this kind of story is like, even though like, he does like these kind of like, he's the wheelman, he's the driver, they're doing bad stuff. But it's more just like he kind of happened to be in this, get kind of caught in a circumstance. Fucking has to repay Kevin Spacey, so he keeps doing this. But he's not like he's a bad guy. He's not fucking Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx is the literal bad guy, where he's just trying to get out of it. And even though like it gets to the end and he still like almost gets out of it, but it doesn't really seem to make it, and keeps getting closer and he gets caught. It has like that kind of almost like, once again comes back to like a 50s thing, because like nowadays this would never happen. I feel like he goes to jail, but she waits for him to get out, however long that is, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. And I think that's kind of cool, because nowadays it'd be like, fucking, I'm out of here, see you. Going to jail, fuck you.
And that time she bought up a nice car for him.
Yeah, and so on.
Saved up.
Yeah, whatever happened. But yeah, overall, it's like that movie is just full on great the whole way through. Like nothing you can really complain about.
Yeah, I watched it the other night. Even small things like when you're watching the action scenes, when they're firing guns at each other, the guns go off the same time the beats do. Like I was watching, there's the whole part when they do the gun deal and they're playing Tequila, and it's whenever people tequila in a movie, it's like da 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 tequila. That's all you hear. It gets to the part with the solo, which no movie ever lasts long enough to get to the solo. Yeah. And as they're firing their guns at each other, the guns are going off in sync with the beats and the solo and all that. And even the part when they're playing Hocus Pocus and the shootout with Darling, Buddy, and like Baby fucks the whole thing up.
Yeah,
that whole part. That's just. I can't suck that movie's dick enough.
Yeah, no, everything about it is just like fantastic soundtrack. Here's another movie. I know it's not on my list, but I like the fucking soundtrack a lot to it. And it was one of those movies like it was close to it, but they came out at the same time. It was like fuck, two great soundtracks in a row. And it was like the Atomic Blonde, because that had a fucking sick soundtrack too. Yeah. It was like it was just two movies right in a row that had these like fantastic soundtracks just back to back. But yeah, that one's all around good. Well, what's your number 3 or 2? I guess or that far up.
My number 2 is 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Hey, that's my number 2.
Yep, that one right there. Not too long ago, we talked about how much we love that movie. It's just it's the new Martin McDonagh movie.
So you had to see it like. Well, it's like a pilgrimage. It's like, oh shit, gotta get ready, gotta get the nice clothes on.
Well, I knew that he was making another movie. I remember seeing the title at some point, but I forgot what it was. It was a long ass title.
Yeah.
And then
shit, you're not gonna remember titles like that.
I remember seeing just like a billboard for three billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri, and then I just clicked on the trailer. I'm like, all right, let's see what this is. 'Cause I'm seeing the poster for that at other movies, and then it said from the director of In Bruges. I'm like, fuck! I wish I didn't watch the trailer right there, because I was like, fuck!
Because I didn't even see the trailer, because they didn't even play it anywhere that I went.
I didn't know that movie was out. I didn't know that was his new movie, so I literally dropped everything I was doing. Like, when's the next showing? Yeah. And sure enough, that movie, it was just a good balance. It's more of a drama than a comedy, and I even said it's not as good as In Bruges or Seven Psychopaths, but it's still a really good movie, and it's still just that's what his movies do. They're just these very intense dramas, and they're very at the same time really funny.
Yeah, no, well, that's what I like about it. It's like, and this one, we said this before, but like it falls harder on the drama than I guess In Bruges and Seven Psychopaths does. Because where Seven Psychopaths, I feel like a very balance between comedy and being a hard drama. It's like dead center almost. And then I feel Seven Psychopaths kind of falls a little bit more on like the action comedy than the drama. It's still there, but a little bit more on that. Where this one, I feel it tips a little bit more on the drama, but the comedy's once again still there. And it is one of those movies where it's like I watched it and I loved it when I saw it. And then the more I thought about it, I liked it even more. I'll still say I probably like Seven Psychopaths and In Bruges more. I mean, In Bruges is like literally like the most modern classic I can think of.
That's one of my top favorite movies. Yeah, In
but
Bruges.
And then Seven Psychopaths is still really good too. Like, but this movie's one's like I can't wait till it kind of comes out on DVD and Blu-ray because I knew this movie like the second that like it came out, I'm like, oh crap, like Justice League comes out like the next week. This movie's gonna be so like fucking gone. It's not gonna last very long. It's gonna be out of here in seconds. So we got to make sure we see it. And yeah, it's just like, everything about it. It's just like it's such a good story. Woody Harrelson in it is fucking amazing. The main lady that plays in it, I forgot what her name is.
Frances McDormand.
Yeah, Frances McDormand. She's amazing in it. You know, of course, fucking Sam Rockwell always steals the show like he does. And it's just a cool story. It's small. It's got that Tarantino feel to it, but it's doing its own thing.
It felt a little bit more Coen Brothers-ish to me, kind of.
Yeah, it does have a little bit of Coen Brothers in it too.
Go ahead.
I was to say it does have that feel because you know, and Coen Brothers always I feel like it's like a mixed bag. Like they're not like consecutive filmmakers like Tarantino or something like that. I know some people would probably go like what, but no, we all know Coen Brothers. They kind of have that. They can make the most amazing fucking movie ever, and then they can make a movie that's kind of just okay with.
They can make
a couple
Burn
points.
After Reading, yeah.
Yeah, a movie that has like 3 awesome scenes, and then the rest of the movie's just kind of okay.
Yeah, which I remember when I went to go see Burn After Reading, I was like, you know what, they're probably expecting too much. I'm going to go in there with a more open mind. I'm sure it's amazing. And I watch it like, no, they're 100% right.
Yeah.
But look at this, though.
But like 3 Billboards, though, like all around, like it's a great movie. And I can't wait to watch it again. I can't wait to see the special features on it. Because this director is another one like Edgar Wright. He really doesn't make a whole lot. They've been making movies about the exact same amount of time, and he only has 3.
Yeah, it takes him a minute to get his stuff done. Well, it used to be, we said when he did our
Martin McDonagh... He does do plays and stuff, I think, too.
When we did our Martin McDonagh retrospect, just on In Bruges and Seven Psychopaths at once, as well as his first movie, Revolver.
And that one's a short, so...
It's short, yeah. He was a playwright, and then it was one of those things, like, I think you said this, because you researched it a little more than I did. I want to say you said that he just, like, yeah, I never liked plays that much. I just did them. I found them easy. I want them to do movies.
Yeah, I think that's what it said.
Just like that.
Yeah, it was kind of like he didn't. It was like he kind of just did. He like fell into plays. Like he probably wanted to do storytelling and happened to get a job doing that. But then he really wanted to make movies.
Which I want to see. I want to read what his other plays are. I want to read if they're anything like In Bruges, Seven Psychopaths, or 3.
That's what I mean. We could have fucking a gold mine of all kinds of other stuff.
Great writings, or see like just those plays adapted. Because his In Bruges, I believe, not In Bruges, Seven Psychopaths was a play that was never adapted. And he made that into a movie.
Yeah, so maybe that's it. And who knows if 3 Billboards and so on. But it'd be interesting to see. Because I remember, like, just looking at the list, he did have a handful, so.
And Seven Psychopaths, I mean, sorry, no, 3 Billboards. The thing about this movie is I give any movie credit where you can take a character I hate and then make me like that character a lot, and like genuinely, not like do some really forced narrative shit to like make me have to like him. Yeah. Like it's a steady build-up. Like I did not like Sam Rockwell at the beginning. I mean, his performance was fine. It was just the character. At the beginning, he doesn't have a very redeeming quality, but he's one of those characters like he's not a likable guy, but he's not so unlikable. He says enough stupid things that he's funny, and you're curious to know where he goes. And
that's what I like about it. Like I felt like he was the kind of guy like he's not a good guy, but I still like liked him just because it's just fucking Sam Rockwell fucking chewing the scenery and being the douchiest like cop he can possibly be. So it's almost like it's not like you like him because it's like oh he's just the greatest guy ever. It's like no you like him just because it's like God what a fucking asshole.
Well it's just he's just interesting to watch. You want to know what he does next. You're curious and you're also scared. Because you think he's going to fuck everything up. Because he's fucking everything up for a while. Yeah. And then he starts to go down this path where he starts to question things and go down this other way and starts like, I got to change my life. I got to be more because this guy I idolize actually thought I can be more and I'm proving him wrong after he passed. Yeah. So out of that, you really start to grow and care for this guy. And Frances McDormand, her character, it's also one of those things like this is what grief or this is what tragedy can do to somebody. Mm-hmm. They can push you towards this darker direction, and she kind of bounces back trying to fix things as well. So I love this movie. It's my number 2. I was really struggling between my 2 and my 1, but yeah, I love this one.
Yeah, I know. I felt, well, it was between this one and Baby Driver were kind of the one. It was kind of a hard flip flop. I'm like, I know I've seen Baby Driver more, and I know it's like it feels like kind of this, but it's like I feel like this one still. I don't know. It's just Baby Driver is full on awesome, but I think this one was just that extra bit special for me. Just that one more like step above. Not by much, but just enough that I just felt like was something like really, really like awesome. I don't know.
And this was your number 2?
Yeah, this was my number 2. So
Well,
your number 1's Baby Driver?
My number 1's Baby Driver. This Baby Driver topped this one just by that much, just because I think Baby Driver has more rewatchability.
I'll say, I think Baby Driver probably has more rewatchability for sure. That's where I was kind of contemplating at. Where this one's definitely one. It's not that you can't rewatch it, but it's not like one you're just going to throw on whenever you feel like it, because it still is a hard drama.
I still feel like this is kind of like, well, for me, I could, maybe not the best example, I could put on Depart at any point and just listen to it while I work on something, because I love the dialogue of that movie so much and all the performances. Seeing this movie once, it is a hard drama, it is a long movie, I think it's like 2 hours, but I think it could be one of those movies, because I actually, when I first saw Hateful Eight, I thought that it's a movie I could watch just once in a while, but I realized, I could actually just listen to this dialogue while I work on shit. And I think this movie might have that to it as well, but it doesn't have that visual. Baby Driver has everything going for it. This movie has just about everything going for it, but Baby Driver's more visually interesting, and it's a little bit more fast-paced, and I could just probably throw that on and just enjoy it. I feel like...
it's definitely... I'll say Baby Driver's definitely more fun. That is for sure, like, kind of it.
Now I'm curious to know what your number 1 is.
My number 1 is... And this is the movie that I like more than anything else, and I definitely solidified it the more I watched the movie, too. I was like, no, dude, everything about this movie is pure perfect. I know I've been saying that since fucking, like, number 8. There's been no non-perfect movie since then, but this one is the movie that really topped it for me. And it was one of the movies, like, when I saw it in theaters, it was, like, guaranteed. I'm like, shit, this is probably my number 1. And the year wasn't even fucking over yet. And I was like, fuck, this is the one right here. And this is American Made.
American Made was a good movie. I liked American Made. That almost made my list.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not even on your list, actually. But
it was almost on my list.
But this movie, like, I thought it was just pure perfect. And this is the kind of, like, I love this style because it reminded me of, like, it's in that Wolf of Wall Street style. Like that one, and then also War Dogs was kind of like that too. Like where you got this kind of biopic story. Once again, biopic comes back up. That's probably why it's also at the top there for me. And you got like a little bit of comedy in there, but you still got this really cool story of somebody kind of going, building up their fortune, having all the problems, and seeing like history being made all at the same time. And this one I just thought was so cool. It's like, okay, Tom Cruise is this pilot for TWA in like the late 70s. His name's Barry
Seal.
Barry Seal.
Just watched this the other night, actually.
Yeah. And he's one of these guys. It's like, okay, he's flying planes. He did it since he was like 15 and whatnot. He's really good at it and so on. But it's kind of whatever, same old, same old. It's like he just gets burnt out with the job like anything else. And the CIA comes up to him and says, "Hey, Barry, you're a real good pilot and everything like that." He's like, "You want to fucking fly some stuff down to South America?" Or first it's like, "You want to go take some pictures down in South America? We need some reconnaissance. Here, take the best plane ever made. It's all yours. Go do it." And he's like, "Oh, well, fuck, yeah, I'll go do it." So he takes the pictures, takes the best pictures they've ever seen. Then they're like, "Okay, cool. Well, let's get you going. Let's get you upgraded a little bit more. We'll give you your own like airfield and so on. Got 200 acres in Kentucky. It's going to be great." I mean, it does kind of actually go different before that, because he does start doing the drugs before that even.
Want to who I didn't realize this at first. You want to who the Irish dude, the ginger kid,
the CIA guy.
You want to know who else he is?
Wait, which one? The kid or the CIA guy?
The CIA guy. CIA guy. Want to know who I say kid because he looks young, but want to know who he is though? He's actually the evil general guy in the Star Wars movies, the new ones.
Is he really? Oh,
General Hux.
Yeah, I guess if he has his hair combed back, he looks way different. It's funny.
He's General Ginger.
Yeah, General Ginger. Forgot about that. And and so on. It's just a cool story. And then it's like of course Tom Cruise gets like mixed up with Pablo Escobar. And they're like, "Hey, you come down here all the time. How about you just fly some drugs back? We'll pay you for it and everything like that."
It's not like it's a question.
Yeah, it's just like one of those ones. So he starts doing that. So he's making money from selling drugs. He's taking pictures, and then all of a sudden, of course, the CIA is like, "You know what? Ronald Reagan wants to have a war, but of course nobody wants us to have another Vietnam, but we're going to still do it anyway, so how about you fly these guns and weapons down to the Contras and give it to them?" And it starts being this movie, like, there's all kinds of stuff going on in it, but, you know.
How disorganized everything was.
Yeah, how disorganized, how nobody really knows what's going on, how the left doesn't know
These guys
right
be trading on your land.
Yeah, exactly.
Got a problem?
And the cool thing is just, like, it's all fucking real stuff. And it's like, and this movie really doesn't stray. This movie's, like, pretty much fact on, like, the whole time through. And even, like, I was watching, because I have the special features and everything like that, I watched all through those. It's like, the guy, like, the actual Barry Seal's son came on there and talked about it. He's like, dude, my dad was the fucking greatest guy ever. I mean, obviously, he died when I was 9, but other than that, though, he's like, he was fucking awesome. He was always there. He's like the nicest person I know. He's like, the town fucking loved him. He's like, this guy was like a legitimate, like, fucking good guy. And even though he was making tons of money, he's like, yeah, there was like, you know, like old Bobby Sue or whatever, like couldn't afford like college for her kid. He paid the whole way through. Didn't worry about it. You know, Jim's business was going out. He said, "Oh, here's $50,000. You don't have to pay me back. Just keep it going. Do what's right." He was literally totally like, and they even went through. They're like, dude, like it didn't matter who it was. Fucking people in the CIA, people in the government, people in like the South America. Everybody had nothing but good things to say about this guy. There was a guy that even like Barry even like took a plane for a test drive and never came back. The guy still said this guy was the greatest guy ever.
Well, it's also one of those things where you feel bad. You know, he's like moving drugs and guns, but at the same time, you feel bad because he's put in this situation like, hey, how would you like to do this? And, you know, I'll say that the
he's kind of peer
CIA
pressured
guy,
by the government.
The CIA guy, he's very smiley, but at the same time, very kind of like
Evil.
Do you think you have a fucking choice?
Yeah.
Which is like a smile. You know, not like, yeah, is that a problem? Why? You know, you can take this away just in a second. You know, and it's very sinister. Even when he's smiling, just keep doing it. Why? Because we fucking told you. You know, just keep doing it. What's wrong? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
because that guy's almost kind of like an evil guy, because he's just a guy in an office space, too, which is almost like the interesting thing. It's not like he's anything head. I think that's kind of a cool thing. It's just a guy trying to move up in his own job business. He wants to go to the next step.
And you realize, watching this movie, even though he does get involved in this shady shit, even though he's embracing it, everyone just kind of turns... ironically enough, the one person who probably is the nicest to him is Pablo Escobar. Even though he's the one that fucking kills him. Because it's like... He goes in there, hey man, how'd you like to, you know, fly for us? Really? Fly for you guys? Yeah, just do this. Okay, cool. Comes back and he's like, hey man, so you're gonna fucking drop some gun, you're gonna carry some drugs for us, because we know you're always coming here all the time. And they're like, we know. It's not the government's like, we don't care. And the government
they're like totally fine with it. Like, shit, you do a good enough job, whatever.
And the government lets him keep on doing all this stuff, and then they just totally throw him under the bus. Like
you're heavy.
Heavy just by showing his picture on the fucking news. Like, what the fuck? Like, hey man, it's not our problem. It's not a big deal. And they don't give him anything, and then they take everything from him.
Yeah.
So it's you can't help but feel bad for this motherfucker.
Oh yeah, because it's literally the story of like the government fucked him over so bad. Fucking Ronald Reagan's people screwed this guy so terrible.
And they tell him, you'll be a hero.
Yeah, exactly. It's just one of those ones, like, that's the part's kind of like the tragedy of the story. I mean, like, and the thing too is like, he died the exact same way that it happens in the movie and everything like that. Like, showing up to that place every day at 5 o'clock to do the community service and so on. It's like, if they just didn't show his face, he would be totally fine. It's funny how one picture almost can fuck you over that much.
Yeah, and it was like
it's probably more than one picture. I mean, in the movie it makes it out like it's one picture. It probably was a handful of pictures on the news.
He was invited to Pablo Escobar's like barbecues and Christmases and all that shit. Like he was good friends with them.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like one of those ones. It's like all it took was just that, and everything he was doing was kind of like, you know, he had his whole team of airplane pilots and everything like that, and they were fucking really, like, fighting it, and even going against... It's like... So finally, it's like the CIA, the FBI, the DEA, none of these guys have any idea what the other one's fucking doing. It's like total, like, before everything's, like, locked together.
You know what? I'm not being peer pressured here. I'm actually going to make a last-minute little change, because more I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking it's like... Because I saw this the other day, I'm like, you know, oh yeah, shit, this was a good movie. I'm thinking, you know, Lady Bird was good. I'm going to bump Lady Bird off for this one.
It's one of those ones, because I think, too, it's like, sometimes if you don't see a movie in theaters, too, you kind of almost like, don't sometimes get that awe. And this is one of those movies, too, like, where, like, I saw it in theaters, I was like, dude, I thought it was pure fucking amazing. Like, I thought it was my number one the second I saw it. But I was like, okay, well, let's watch it again on Blu-ray and just kind of double-check that. And it's like, nope, still is fucking awesome. Like, everything about it's just, and I just think it's a cool story. I like that time period. I like that kind of, you know, that Reaganism area where it's just like, these guys, like, nobody in this, you know, fucking down there wants to really fight a war. It's the battling the communists and so on. It's still got the comedy. And even though, like,
there's even that funny ass part where he goes over, he goes, hey guys, they just show him beating the shit out of him, taking his shit. Later he comes back with a bunch of, like, booze and porn.
He's got a baseball bag. He's like, fuck
back,
you guys.
Yours, friends.
It's like they're cavemen. And here's the thing: there's like, okay, there's the wife in the movie, and at first, like when she was in there, I was like, oh fuck, do we got another casino going on? Because that's like always like the downfall I think at the casino. Is just gotta like talk about the shittiest wife ever, and you know back. And this is like we talked about this before. Even it's like there's sometimes like the female characters are just written like crap. You know what I mean? They just make them evil and fucking horrible people and things like that. They're pretty much just a villain character. And I was afraid that was gonna be like this in the movie. And then she has like one like outburst, one or two like kind of dumb moments, but they're so minimal that it's like changed so fast that it's like, oh, okay, that's not bad. You know what I mean? It's like that's about it. She's pretty quick to agree. We're like, because that's the only thing. Is like I think of Casino. I always think about that. I'm like, that's probably like almost like the worst like female wife kind of character in
female wife, the female kind.
Yeah, well, it could be a male wife. I'm just saying, but you know, it could be all PC. Man wife. But yeah, it's like in this one, it's not bad. And even like, I love how like because the wife has like the stupid fucking brothers. Like, I don't even know how that brother's fucking related because they clearly do not even look anything alike.
Well, movies.
Shit, yeah.
I just like that whole part where he just shows
it's like,
up.
It's funny because like this guy's been in like movies recently. He's like really like he's like one of the ugliest fucking kids ever. It's not that he's necessarily he's ginger. But he's like the ugly of the ugly gingers. Like, let's say this: the CIA ginger, good-looking ginger. This guy is just like he's just fucking gross looking. You know what I mean?
He was probably really forcing his jaw out, probably making him trying to.
Well, it's like okay, it's multiple things. It doesn't help that like okay, he's got fucking bad, gross-looking hair. He's wearing stupid fucking like '80s outfits, and then at the top of he's just like this ginger white kid with fucking freckles up and down his arm, like he's got fucking armor plates on and so on. And like, great fucking actor though. Like, he's in everything I've ever seen him in, he's always like fucking plays good. But he's just like fucking makes you want to like throw up in the theaters ugly. And like, he's there, and it's like there's a part later on because like he kind of fucks up. You can just tell he's like this whole fuck up kid. He's like, he finds like some money in the warehouse. He's like, you know, because Barry gives him a fucking job, and next thing you know, he's fucking buying a gremlin, which I thought made me fucking laugh. Like, he gets a gremlin. That seems like such the fuck up guy's car to get is the gremlin. And then, like, he's got, like, beer. He's like, a woman, like, hey, come on.
It's a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah, and who knows? You can't really tell fucking how old he is. He's like, he could be, like, fucking 18, but he could be, like, 32 for all we know. He's
probably meant to be, like, probably 20 or 21 because he has beer, or maybe...
Yeah, he's probably a little bit over that. But, and so on. And then, like, you just tell he's just a fuck-up character. And so, of course... One day he steals more money and he's just fucking walking the judge like fucking stuffing in his pockets and everything. He's carrying a briefcase with money fucking sticking out. Like, how more stupid can you get than this? And of course the local sheriff sees this and he starts running and he gets caught and then it becomes a big deal. It's like, oh fuck. And Pablo Escobar calls up. He's like, we got this taken care of. He's like, Barry's like, dude, I gotta get back. This fucking kid messed up. I gotta get back. He's like, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. We'll take care of it. We'll take care of it. And of course, when fucking Barry gets him out, he's like, dude, I'm gonna send you off. You fucked up. You know what? Here's the thing. I'm gonna give you money. You're gonna fucking take this plane ticket. You're gonna get the fuck out of here. We're never gonna see you again, but you're gonna be okay. And he's like, and of course, he gets greedy. Like always, like, dude,
you and your cunt sister better send me some fucking money
every fucking week. You know, whatever. I'm gonna get my gremlin. Fuck you, Barry. And then he drives off. And he gets about all of like 30 feet and the car blows up. I laughed so fucking hard in the movie. Because that was like the point where it's like, you when you get that, you talked about that a couple like characters back in another movie where like, you just get such a shitty character that you can't fucking stand. And then they just get the best death ever and it almost makes it all worthwhile. That was how that was. I was like, oh my god.
I like when he comes back.
Pablo Escobar is so cool.
I like when he comes back to like, everyone's like, hey, I'm worried about JD. Don't worry about JD. I think we should, like, nothing's gonna worry about JD.
I'm freaking out here about JD, dude. You gotta give me some information.
He's not gonna talk. How do you know? I am fucking positive.
I like this guy's like, okay, I'll take you on your word, Barry.
You didn't even see him. You just hear him on the other side of the door.
And he just totally like calm after that.
No, that was I liked that movie when I saw it, but it's one of those things when talking about it, I'm like, nothing. I liked that movie a little more. So
God, I love that movie so much. Yeah. Just like that story's all cool, everything about it and shit. It's like Tom Cruise just fucking never fails. It's like one of those ones. If you want somebody to do something awesome, Tom Cruise is there. It's just, it's kind of funny because like they show the pictures of like the real Barry,
not Tom Cruise.
Well, it's like okay. Well, it's funny because like in his pictures, it's like I mean like he's not like far off, but like sometimes like
by 80 pounds.
Well, I was about to say yeah. It's weird because he fluctuates in his weight like in these pictures. Like they go back and forth. And sometimes he looks like a normal guy, like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden, it's like, he's just super fucking like,
that'd be
shit,
later days.
What's Pablo Escobar feeding this man? It's like, good thing he's flying. No wonder he's like, you know, he can't take as much fucking drugs. I love that line where it's like, he gets in the plane, like, okay, we're gonna take off this really dangerous fucking airport in South America. Okay, and he gets in there, he's like, okay, we're loaded up, we got the plane back to everything like that. And he gets to go to the plane, he's like, hey, what the fuck are you doing here? Fatty's got to get out of here. Like, shit.
He's fat as fuck. He ain't taking off.
Here's the thing. I'm either going to take the fat fuck or I'm going to take the drugs. Whatever one you want.
I like how you had the balls to say that to Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. That's the thing. Is like, and I said it's in that Wolf of Wall Street style. Like, I'm glad that movies are actually kind of utilizing that kind of. We're gonna make a drama. We're gonna make kind of a biopic, but we're gonna keep just enough humor in there that doesn't detract from the movie, but keeps it like relatively smooth.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's just overall, this movie really made my fucking year. Like, by far. Like, so good. Everything about it's awesome. And sadly enough, it's another one of those movies, too, that like a lot of people just didn't see. Kind of just went under the radar.
That's the way this last movie this dude did was
Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow, which was another good movie, but it got good reviews and starred the Tom, but at the same time, it just didn't.
No, a great movie,
It
too.
didn't just cruise along.
Yeah, exactly.
Da-da-da-da-da.
It's funny, too. It's like, this movie, is like when they were shooting it, like Tom, that director, and the writer, they all like rented out like a house together to live in like Georgia.
You think Tom Cruise have his own mansion? He could have his own mansion, you would assume.
I think it's just because Tom Cruise is more like, well, they probably had a pretty fucking nice house. I'm pretty sure they're not renting fucking like some like, dude, let's get an apartment. You know what I mean?
We get bunk beds.
Yeah. I get top. And Tom Cruise like jumps up there like flying
Jumping.
Up. But no, yeah, there's like those kind of things like that. And I just think it's just kind of cool because Tom Cruise is that guy. So even though he's like could be the biggest movie actor in the world, he can fucking still rent a fucking house with his like director and writer. And they actually ended up shooting a lot of scenes in that house too because they're like, shit, this house looks like a pretty good place to shoot at. So
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's what I just like. It's just something about Tom Cruise. Like when it comes down to movies, like so if there's somebody who really fucking knows movies, a lot of times it's Tom Cruise. It's like he's almost the guy you can kind of bet on. I know some people will say like The Mummy was kind of like not that great. I still fucking enjoyed it, so like I'm not counting that as like a knock on Tom Cruise.
I guess it was an opportunity to have your own ongoing franchise because he doesn't really have an ongoing franchise other than Mission Impossible.
Yeah. So, but it's just one of those, I always still say Tom Cruise is fucking Mr. Reliable. You can pretty much trust him. He'll always have something good. But that was our big top 15 fucking list. It was interesting because most of the years
I think we almost had a third person on this shit.
we pretty much had a third person because this was actually the time when I think our lists were like so diverse. Because most of the time we always seem to have like if we had 10 movies, like 7 out of 10 of them were the same movies. You know what I mean? This is the first time where it's like shit. Probably more than half of our movies were like different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, and it's like you had all the feely movies, I had all the shooty movies.
I think mine was half and half. I think there's some feely. I think there's some feely stuff, and there's also some let's kill some fuckers.
Yeah.
I had I had Baby Driver. I had Logan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're just like, yeah, okay, I'll give that to you for now.
Yeah, I had those too. So. Yeah.
I got more than that. I mean,
But,
a lot of people died in Shape of Water.
Oh yeah. That there's that one on there too. But yeah, it was a nice diverse list, you know, of all kinds of things and so on. But yeah, this year was just one of those years like it was more ridiculous than almost any other year for how much movies came out. You know, like just so many. Like I could literally make another 15 movie list and be like, shit, these movies are all good too. There's that many good ones. You know, I feel bad for passing up some movies, but whatever. I'm still standing by my list. I thought it was pretty definitive.
I liked my list too.
And I know ours was different than everybody else's out there because everybody else can have fucking weird shit and can't trust their list. But that's Old Man Orange Podcast. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
I'm Ryan Dunigan.
We'll see you some other time.
Later, folks.
Thanks for listening to the Old Man Orange Podcast. Check out our website at oldmanorange.com for even more podcasts, cartoons, videos, music, and more. Send us an email at oldmanorangepodcast@yahoo.com. Be sure to subscribe, share, rate, and review us on iTunes, Podomatic, or any of the other fine sites we might be located on. And if you want to help out even more, click on the Amazon or GameStop links on our webpage before you make any purchases there. Won't cost you a penny, but it sends us a little something our way. Thanks for listening, and tune in next week to Old Man Orange.